Annuity Man, America's annuity agent, licensed in all 50 states. Today's topic is Election 2024. Are annuities in the political crossfire or crosshairs, however you want to say, without mentioning any candidate, political party, convention, ads, all that stuff? Forget about that for a second. We need to focus on annuities, and I'm going to encourage you as we go down this election cycle and future election cycles. If it's red and if it's blue, it's actually both equal green, which is money. You got to think about your specific situation and prepare for both either or candidate to win. I know that there's people out there on both sides of the table going, oh my God, Sam, if the other person wins, then the world is over. Notice that both sides are saying that. So hopefully neither of them are correct. We will survive as a country. We always do. I am not a political person because my comment to all of this is, I need you to pause for a second before I get to the topic. Think of the dumbest person you know on the planet. Like the person that when you talk to them, you lose IQ as you're talking to them. They're dumber than a box of hair. Just think about that for a second. Okay, envision that person, right? There might be more than one. That person's vote just nullified yours. So as much as you want to watch cable news and the podcasts and all that stuff, you need to chill out, my friend. So let's talk about annuities. Are they in the political crossfire for this election, crosshairs? Well, let's establish a fact. Every single one of you that's watching this video that has a Social Security number already owns an annuity. You're like, what? Scooby-Doo? Yeah, it's called Social Security. It's the best inflation annuity on the planet. So the question is, election 2024, are either candidates, which one's going to mess with that? I'm going to tell you neither one's going to mess with that. And the reason they're not going to mess with that is because people that get Social Security vote, and they don't want to mess with those voters. And it's an easy target if one person actually on either side said, we really need to address this because it's a problem. And mathematically and financially it is, but they're not going to get anywhere close to that. Now, the cost of living adjustment increase that you get with Social Security, which makes it the best inflation annuity on the planet. Once again, I don't think that the candidates, either party, are going to mess with that COLA. Certainly the House and the Senate aren't, because again, people that get Social Security vote. And it was never put on the planet to be the primary income source for people, but it is, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at that. But it's like that they call it the third rail. No one wants to touch the third rail. Social Security is like that golden goose that no one wants to get close to. Eventually we'll have to address this. Somebody pragmatic will have to look at it. But from that standpoint, the annuity that you own, Social Security, I do not think is going to be touched or changed or anything like that. Now, for you rich people out there, you evil rich people, and if you don't think you're evil rich, you might be, depending on the definition. But the taxation of Social Security, could be something that they could play around the edges. Well, the evil rich has made all this money and they shouldn't get all that stuff. I don't do tax advice because I'm not a CPA or a tax lawyer, and I do think that you should consult with those people from a taxation standpoint. And if you can find a very good Social Security expert, Larry Kotlikoff is a person that I would recommend. He's been on my podcast, Fun with Annuities, can help you with those decisions for Social Security. Now, the other things within the 2024 election that we're going to see, obviously there's going to be some rate decreases, it looks like. We don't know how many, but do those affect annuities? Yes, there's different types of annuities. There's not just one annuity. There's income annuities. There's annuities for principal protection. There's annuities for legacy. There's annuities for long-term care. It's principal protection, income for life, legacy, and long-term care is the acronym PIL. Now, obviously, if they're lowering rates, that's going to affect some of the annuities different than others. Just remember, with lifetime income annuities, the vast majority of the pricing, what they price the payments at, is based on your life expectancy or life expectancies at the time you take the payment. So election 2024 is going to be a whiz-banger. They always are. But from the standpoint of what you do with that, are annuities in the crosshair? I think the only way they are, in my opinion, would be the interest rate movements probably going lower, just what everyone's saying. the annuity industry, and you got to remember, life insurance companies issue annuities. So the life insurance lobby on the Hill in D.C. is probably the most powerful lobby out there. You know, they make the NRA look like pikers. They don't need the guns. I mean, so I don't think any of the tax deferral nature of some of deferred annuities, I don't think any of those rules within annuities are going to be affected at all. I guess from the standpoint, if you go on the conspiracy theory of whether you're leaning left or leaning right or independent, whatever that is, the conspiracy theory is if you know, everyone's saying, well, if this guy wins, guy or girl wins, then you know, all heck's going to break loose. And if this guy or girl wins, all heck's going to break loose. We're probably going to meet somewhere in the middle, but I would prepare for both. I would look at, you know, if you think that one's going to raise your taxes, you might look at annuities for tax deferral, and make sure that you're not, you know, you're controlling those taxes, and we'll discuss that at a later time. But I wanted to talk about the election, and I wanted to kind of damp down the emotion if possible. I know you're saying, Stan, what are you, political pundit? What are you, sappy here? No, I'm not sappy, but I want you to think about this. If a Republican and a Democrat and an independent were standing beside each other at a random place, and one or both of those people beside you, whichever party you're on, was attacked randomly, I know you would defend them. Just like 9/11, we all came together. I really wish that the politics would be about issues, but it's a little personal, but that's kind of the way the game is played. But I want you to be pragmatic. I want you to think about, okay, if this person wins, I got to prepare for that. If this person wins, I got to prepare for that. And look at the annuities for what they are, transfer of risk contracts. You're transferring the risk to solve for, primarily it's lifetime income or principal protection. Again, the PIL acronym, legacy and long-term care. Those are the primary things. It's not a market growth product, even though you're going to hear that. They're just not. They're contracts. They're commodity products. They should be shopped with all carriers. You can go to my site at theannuityman.com and run quotes 24/7, 365 at your leisure. A couple of more things that you need to remember about election 2024, if annuities are in the crosshairs, crossfire, however you want to say that. I don't think payout rates are going to change as well, the actuarial tables. If they do, it's going to be on the margin, but just remember that you shop all carriers so you can get the highest contractual guarantee because they change like a gallon of milk. So, you know, don't get caught up in the emotion. I need you to look at annuities for what they are. They're contractual guaranteed transfer of risk products. There's a demographic tidal wave going on out there. As you know, you might be part of it. 13,000 people are turning age 65 every single day. And most of those people, and that might be you, are looking for some of their portfolio to be contractually guaranteed. I'll leave you with this one idea. I think you should consider what I call income flooring, creating an income floor that's contractually guaranteed, that can survive Democrat, Republican, Independent, whoever, Green Party, doesn't matter. That money's going to hit your bank account every single month. Now, what is that? That would be the annuity that you already own, which is Social Security. If you're a pension, if you're one of those people so fortunate to have a pension, that's part of the income floor. Required minimum distributions that you take from your IRA is what I call a kind of a pseudo annuity because that's income coming whether you need it or not. Dividend stocks, rental property. In other words, what's the amount of money that you need to have every single month without disrupting your growth investments, your non-annuity investments? That's what I call the income floor. For election 2024, regardless of who wins, I would focus on what is your income flooring strategy? Do you have enough income floor? And you know, go into it solving for that number, understanding that if there is continued inflation, then you just reverse engineer a quote to solve for that specific number, monthly number increase that you need. Remember, inflation is kind of it's pundits love to talk about it from a 30,000-foot view, but it's customizable to your specific situation. So election 2024, it's going to be a doozy. Looking forward to seeing how it all plays out. I don't watch a lot of the pundits. I certainly get tired of the TV ads just like you do and the radio ads and all that stuff. Just remember this, regardless of what side you're on. the candidate that you hate, I want you to think about that person. They're probably a pretty good person, probably fun to be around with, probably smart. You might not vote for them, but they have a family. They're trying to do good. They're Americans. Let's tamper down and dampen down the emotion and the anger because it doesn't do anybody any good. And when it comes to annuities, there's no emotion. There's no anger. There's none of that because these are contracts. They're policies issued by life insurance companies. So you're buying for the contractual guarantees, which pretty much eliminates emotion. Hey, my name is Stan the Annuity Man. You've been watching Stan the Annuity Man YouTube video channel, which is growing by leaps and bounds. See you next time.